Albie Smith, T. Lucas here, and Margaret.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know what? I'm gonna buy these pictures. This is like a bad moment for this family.
Is a horrible
they
moment.
have been fighting this truth for a while. The chances
Since
of her
January.
right, of her coming back, you know, is not going to happen.
Right.
To move someone to hospice is like saying that's that final step because
Right.
they're not going to get better and they're
Right.
deteriorating.
That's where you go. Exactly.
So that's like kind of where they take you out the hospital.
And who wants to see that? I mean, just honestly, like, who wants to see that? Who
I don't.
would relish
Well, no,
in
no.
that? And you would want to? Who wants to
Okay.
see her wither away like that?
But here's the thing. People in this country, and this is where we've lost sight of having any real humility. People love dirty laundry.
But this isn't dirty laundry.
Of course it is.
This is not dirty laundry at all.
It's morbid though, but people like it's morbid.
It's
they
morbid.
know that there's issues in the family. They're fighting, the situation with Bobby Brown, who was like, no, she's been responsive, and family's like, no, that's not the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So this whole thing going back and forth, having to go, to court to get, guardianship rights to be a POA for her. I mean, this has just been a difficult.
That's the dirty laundry, but to take pictures of her in hospice
But
while
people
she's
look
deteriorating.
Look, anytime if there's a celebrity who is found dead, you always have that person who is trying to get there to get those first pictures to sell it. Whether it was Michael Jackson, whether it was Anna Nicole Smith, whether it was Whitney Houston. You got people.
Chris Farley. Yes.
People try to get in there because they know for what it's worth. Somewhere down the road, it might be worth something. You've got some trashy tabloid that will probably go ahead and just really say, okay, we'll pay you for it.
But are we looking for that?
I'm not looking.
I don't want to see Michael Jackson dead. That wouldn't behoove. It wouldn't behoove me to do that. Like, what is the point?
I don't want to see this 22-year-old girl who was distraught after the death of her mother, who never got past it, who fell into a life of drugs, but she always had a drug issue
Sure.
for a minute.
Sure.
Now
It's a
you
vicious cycle.
It's a vicious cycle.
Yes.
It really, really is. So I don't want to see this because I realize what a sad story
Yes.
that this is for everybody in the Brown and Houston family.
Yes.
And let me just say this. I hope it's some despicable hospice worker, and I really hope it's not a family member.
Because that would just
Now, see, this one you can go Hope Solo.
Yes, see? see? Yes.
In this event, if you want Hope Solo on somebody,
You'll be forgiven.
You will be forgiven. Because
Yes.
I really hope that this is not family. And for the hospice worker, obviously they should be fired.
Oh, absolutely.
But go a step further and file charges.
Yes,
Because
absolutely.
one, you have taken the trust of the family that this is a safe place where my family can be, that she can rest peacefully. We're trying to make the best of an awful situation.
Right.
And this can be criminal charges. And I hope they don't find it in their heart if it happens to be actually, it could be a family member. I hope they don't find it in their heart to not take legal action against them either. Because this is exploitive on the family member's part.
It's wrong. I'm trying to see if, of course there's a moral obligation that you should have, but I don't know legally, can you do that unless there were waivers of no pictures? Like, legally, would they be able to press charges or file charges or something? I know morally is horrific, but I don't know if it's illegal.
Well, first of all, depending on who took the pictures, it could maybe be trespassing. I don't know, because we don't know how they got. It has to be somebody who's close to her.
Absolutely.
Now, first of all, we actually don't know the nature of the pictures. We saw the
Correct.
post, but we don't, so it's kind of hard to figure out if it's somebody inside.
Right.
It probably is.
It has to be.
Because, unfortunately, there's this unnatural obsession with celebrities in this country, for better or for worse. If people can catch you on a down moment
Yes.
and monopolize on
But
it.
how down can you go? This is what I'm saying. This is beyond dirty laundry in court and that kind of thing. All right, people like the dirt and the juice, but this is somebody's life. This is beyond dirty laundry. So it's like, how down of a downward spiral do we really like to see? And at this point, nobody should be getting enjoyment out of this. No one should be enjoying this and wanting to see the pictures and her in the bed. Like, that's just disgusting to me.
It's not. And if anybody had an inkling of just any type of a soul or humility, you would never want to exploit, hurt the family. They're already hurting.
Yes.
And obviously, they've gone out of their way to try to make this private from the moment she was in the hospital. They went through all those safeguards.
Yes.
Because you never saw anything leak from the hospital.
Right.
So you get to hospice, which I'm not sure how many more people were coming through the doors with this, because hospice workers obviously have shift changes and stuff like that. But it shouldn't be high volume.
Right.
But we also don't know if family was there all the time with her. They had a rotating schedule. We don't know.
Right.
I just think it's really sad.
It is.
And how this story continues to bloom, and I don't know how I feel about this. So now they're looking at, they want to charge Nick Gordon with, obviously they feel that this was homicide. And I'm wondering what it took so long to get to this point. I don't know. It's the kind of thing where,
well, they really technically can't charge him with anything until she dies. It's not a homicide.
Right, exactly.
Until
That was the
she
first
dies.
that I thought was weird. I was like, well, technically she's still here.
She's still right.
And here's the thing. It was known that she actually abused drugs. It was known he abused drugs.
Yes.
So now, unfortunately, you have two young people who are abusing drugs together. Could this have been something that could have gone awry? We don't know.
Accident, yeah.
Could it have been an accident? We don't know. I remember in high school, I had a friend who, she left our high school to go to a different high school, got caught up with this older guy who was a heroin addict, and he actually shot her up to the point where he killed her. Now, not an intentional action, according to what it was just shoot up, get high, and because he just gave her too much. He was also high as a kite,
right?
Though he did go to jail for manslaughter.
Really?
He did, because either way, whether you killed her. But it was a really sad situation. I don't know. I look at the Nick Gordon thing, and I don't know much about either one of them. I think they were both on a wayward path to begin with.
Yeah.
It was something that, to me, the family frowned upon from the minute they got together.
Yes. Because his role was kind of like a brother. I know they're not.
There's no relation whatsoever.
Right,
but
no,
Whitney had taken
related.
him under the wing.
Right.
And they kind of felt like, ew, how could you do this? Well, obviously, okay, let's say this. They might have been attracted to each other all along. The bottom line is they're not relatives.
Right.
And he was around a lot, so they maybe obviously developed a bond for each other, which obviously they disapproved of. And I wonder partially if the family's pushing this because of how they disapproved of it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's interesting because how she passed away was so similar to her mom's situation.
Yes.
And we actually never got a lot of details about what happened. We know that she was found in the bathtub.
But they said he was there too.
He was there too, but we don't know what was he doing? Was he high? We don't But who knows?